Hello.
Hey everybody, it's a little late night vlog for you.
Or early morning, whichever you want to put it.
It is currently 12:30 for us, and we just got back from the theaters watching Guardians of the Galaxy Vol.2.
Yes. Your Honor, I would like to make the opening statement. What the fuck did we just watch?
Yeah, it was a good movie, but pretty hard to keep track of.
Wow. There was so much shit going on.
They threw a lot at us.
They threw a lot at us. Wow. I mean, I should probably start off by saying I did not read the comics. I mean, I loved the first movie. I didn't read the comics, but I pretty much could follow what was going on.
Well, let's think. No one really knew about Guardians of the Galaxy until the movie, and I only knew about them from watching the cartoon Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and that was like maybe 3 years ago.
Yeah, there's that. But I just don't even know where to start.
Well,
like, I did like the movie. I enjoyed it. I wasn't disappointed.
Oh, it was fun.
It was fun. There was a lot of good stuff in it, but I felt like every 5 minutes something would happen in the movie, and I went, "What just happened?"
Yeah.
So where do we even start with this? Do we
talk
about the characters or what?
We start at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, by the way, I'm starving, so I'm gonna be rude and eat a sandwich. So why don't you get started?
For starters, we missed our first viewing of it.
Oh yeah.
By seconds. The first.
I showed up. We were going to do the 8:05 screening.
Yeah.
And I went and bought my ticket, and was waiting for him. And
I show up, and apparently I find out that they're completely sold out. So, yeah, I was a little bit pissed off at that.
We both were. And I feel bad. I should have bought both. I should have bought both our tickets. Like, not even 2 seconds before he walks into the theater, I overhear the clerk say, "We just sold out." Like, uh-oh.
Yeah. Guess we should try ordering online more often. But anyways, that's a small thing.
Yeah.
Back to the movie. So we start off with...
Go to the next screening.
Yeah, so... Oh, we start off with, what is it? His dad, in the past, with his mother.
Spoiler alert, by the way.
Peter and his mother and father talking about stuff. And, his father shows his mother a little plant that he put in the ground, talking about how eventually this thing's gonna cover everything, and that's a little early foreshadowing for us.
My first thought was, this is gonna be bad. I know it.
And then we go in. Then we cut to 34 years later, and the Guardian gang.
They're at the Sovereign.
Yes, the Guardian gang are at the Sovereign, and they were hired by the Golden people, whatever they're called.
The leftover Oscar knockoffs. Oh my god.
The living Oscars. Yes, that's what I was.
This civilization. Wow.
All right. They were hired by these people to protect the batteries from an intergalactic being that will feed off of them. So
how they were able to predict that, I don't know. But anyways.
Well, and then we start off by finding out that Drac has sensitive nipples. Yeah, there's that.
Drac was one walking sex joke the entire movie.
Yeah.
Every punchline has something to do with dicks or nipples or
crap.
Or crap.
Yeah. He wouldn't put on his jetpack because he said it hurts, and that's because he has sensitive nipples.
And of course, I don't remember the names now. The raccoon. Rocket. I'm sorry, my mind is numb right now.
It's late right now, so give us a moment.
Rocket, of course, is laughing this off and all.
Oh yeah, and he's preparing the sound systems for while they fight.
And so the being shows up, is about to eat the batteries, everybody's ready for action.
And Groot plugs in this thing and starts dancing.
And of course, this is where the title and the credits start, and the whole thing is Groot dancing to the music that's going on while everybody's fighting the monster.
Yeah,
I should have known this was going to happen.
I love the part where Peter is right there saying, Groot! And then Tentacle just punches him off the screen.
No, I liked it when Gamera came. It was like, Groot, you're going to be in the way. Groot's waving. She goes, hi. it's like she's babysitting her niece and is irritated by her but doesn't want to hurt her feelings at the same time.
Alright, so after the whole dance, the music breaks. They have trouble fighting the thing because it has thick hide, and Drac jumps into his mouth try to stab her from the inside. And,
Sorry, Mike.
Sorry.
I knew we were going to bring this up, yeah.
So it has a weak spot under its throat, so they get him to raise his neck, and Gamora slices it all the way down to the white meat.
She tries to shoot it, and it's like, it ran out of juice, so she's like, fuck it. Pulls out the sword and just goes all samurai jump, like, shah! Like all the way down. Slices the monster right in half, and then Drax comes out in this green ooze, is like, I did it all by myself!
Okay, so
that was a good start.
Yeah.
That was, I knew that they were gonna like, I was worried that the movie was going to focus entirely on Baby Groot, because that's going to be the one that sells the toys. All the Guardians toys are going to be Baby Groot.
Alright.
He's adorable.
Anyways, moving on, they meet the Golden People, they give their thanks, and they get, what's her name? The blue girl.
Nebula.
Nebula, yes.
Their payment for their business is Gamera's sister.
Yeah.
Who was a prisoner.
So they leave, and as they're taking off, the ships come after them, and we find out Rocket took the batteries from them, which kind of pissed them off, in a good sense. And
because people who look like walking Oscar statues need to be charged with batteries, I guess.
What I loved was how all their ships weren't manned. They were piloted from the planet, and it was set up it was actually set up like a big VR game.
I will say it again. What did I just watch?
It even had the pew pew noises from Asteroid.
It had
Space Invaders. Yes, that's what I want to say.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Guardians are being followed by this fleet, and the thing they looked like, like you said, each and every one of them looked like they were in one of those giant video game consoles you see at the arcade, where it's like they're on this it looks like a simulated jetpack.
Yes.
There's a big screen in front of it, and it's got like kind of a filtered screen in front of them that looks like they're playing video games. And and every time the Guardians blasted one of them and blew it up or something, and then the screen goes down from the pilot, and they're reacting like they had just lost their high score.
Mm.
And Joe and I were just looking at each other like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So that was definitely whoever sat down to design that area. I don't know.
Yeah, follow that one. Alright, so to escape them, they go into this warping asteroid field.
To avoid them.
Yeah, to avoid them.
They try to avoid them.
And Peter and Rocket are arguing who should pilot the ship and all that.
They're arguing over whose dick is bigger and who should use their bigger dicks to pilot the ship.
Oh yeah. I loved it when he mentioned about taking a crap in his pillow, but it wasn't going to be his crap, it was going to be Drax. And Drax like, I have legendary size excrement.
Everything is funny to him, apparently.
Yeah. Well, he did have a better personality than this one. It was just last one. He was just his only stick was he couldn't take sarcasms.
He had the personality of a 13-year-old boy who just started puberty.
Yeah, and also to shoot the last ship, he hooks himself to the ship and just hangs off there like a worm on a hook and blasts them. But apparently, once they get out, the guys apparently could go around the field, which they probably should have done anyways. But then all of a sudden, every one of them gets blasted in a second by a guy on an egg ship.
But that scene, I gotta say,
yes,
the last of that ship where the Sovereign, there was one left that was chasing them, and it was one guy who was on the controller.
Yeah, and everyone was watching him. It was like, you can do this, you can do this.
Everyone else was behind watching him. It's like, I was like, are we watching Pixels?
And then when his ship is broken, the guy's like, you suck.
The guy in the back was like, you suck, and the guy in the control, it just has this dead look like, I just lost my high score, I want to kill myself.
I thought it was supposed to be a calm, sophisticated race, but damn. Alright, anyways, they warp to another planet. Now, whatever it's called. As they're crashing in, they... Okay. No, give me this. Okay, they crash into the forest, and while Drac is still hooked on the back, hitting every single tree. It's like, it was hilarious. So
I gotta bring up.
don't choke on your food now.
You're making breathe.
Alright.
I have to.
This may take a moment. Give us a sec.
I want to choke. Okay.
You're not gonna do it. Alright, I probably should keep going while you're...
No, I gotta bring up the scene.
You can't do it. You can't do it. No, you can't.
Okay, the scene in Family Guy where he's falling down the stairs. He goes, for cooking, That scene with Drax hitting the trees with that dub.
Yeah.
That was the first thing that popped into my head. Oh God.
Okay, now.
Okay, go on.
Was.
Okay, I'm gonna make that video if I remember. I'm gonna do
yeah.
that. Go on.
So they crash, and the guy in the white ship shows up, and he's like, Peter, I am your father.
Did we mention the guy in the egg ship?
We did.
Okay, I was too busy laughing, I guess. But after that scene, Drax was like laughing his ass off. Like, that was awesome!
That was awesome! I probably would have fun if I had his stamina as well.
But yeah, we meet. Yeah, the first second that guy shows up on the white ship, I at first thought that's his father.
Yeah, everyone first thought that.
We all saw that coming.
Anyways, then we cut to another planet where Yondu is, and these guys are at a bar, and also who else happens to be there? Howard the Duck. He just happens to be right there talking to some chicks and all that.
Yeah, these robotic prostitutes that they're hanging and fondling and stuff. And Sylvester Stallone is there too.
Yeah, Sylvester Stallone shows up and they kind of argue for some reason. Apparently they were part of a team.
Used to be.
An old Ravagers or something like that. But they argue, he flies off, and then the Golden Queen comes up.
Yeah, hold on. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but could you understand a word that any of those people were saying?
I couldn't follow it. I mean, I could understand it, but I didn't know what was going on.
The people in Yondu's gang and Sylvester Stallone, when they were talking, I could not understand them. It sounded like they were... Stallone was his usual... But then everybody else in the gang talks like... Obviously, they had, like, false teeth and they blinged their mouth.
Yeah, everyone had false teeth. Everyone had metal teeth. I didn't understand it.
Everybody sounded like they had false teeth. Like, all I could hear was, I'm like, what did you just say? So, yeah. Not my complaint.
Yeah, was it? Well, okay, some of the other crew members are arguing, thinking he's now good, but then the Gold Queen shows up, and they actually roll a carpet as she's walking from the ship to him. An entire carpet.
There's like 10 of her servants rolling out this carpet for her.
Yeah. Actually rolling out the red carpet, except it's blue.
She didn't get her feet dirty. And apparently it was necessary to have another comedy part where the thing gets stuck.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, anyways.
I mean, I think that was overdoing it a bit with the comedy.
Alright, anyways, we,
She offers a proposal to Yondu and his gang.
Right.
Next scene.
Right. They're talking with the father. Some stuff happens. They
Some
argue. Well, we really didn't pay attention too well to that part, or at least details of it. Or I mean, did you? I know he was talking about like his past and all that, but then they. So after all the talky.
Well, Star-Lord was having doubts as to whether or not he was really his father, and Gamera's all like,
right.
This whole thing with
David Hasselhoff.
yes, Star-Lord saying that he used to pretend that David Hasselhoff was his father,
Knight Rider and all that.
and then Gamera's like, what if this guy's your Hasselhoff? So there's little love connection maybe going on. And
yeah.
Well, she's all like, he's your father. You should trust him. And he's like, I don't know.
Yeah. So he, Gamora, and Drac go with.
Gamera.
I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Gamora.
Pretty sure it's Gamera. We'll figure it out later.
Gamera's the turtle.
I don't know.
Hey, well, anyway, it's late.
I'm tired.
Anyways, he, Gamora, and Drax go with the father while.
In an unnecessary slow-mo music montage.
Yeah, another one.
There was a lot
there
of those.
were several of these things. Alright.
Misplaced cliches, but yes. So yeah, those three board the ship and...
Rocket, Groot, and Nebula stay.
Nebula's left to be babysat by Rocket.
Yeah. And... was anything that happened between that besides going right to the plant?
I don't remember.
Alright, well...
Oh, there was Mantis.
Oh, yes, Mantis. Mantis is... Oh, yeah, they did have little things in the ship going on. Mantis can read emotions, I guess?
Mantis is the servant of... Oh, the father's name is Ego, by the way.
Yes, that's right. Ego.
I was about to... The guy says, my name is Ego, and my first thought is, Raptor? How cool would that be if Ego Raptor was his father?
Oh, God.
He's actually an immortal that looks younger than him.
That'd be weird.
So yeah, they're on the ship. They're on their way to... apparently Ego has his own planet. And they do some more comedy, like if we had enough of that, where you get to know Mantis. Apparently she can read feelings. Of course, the first thing he does is try to read Star-Lord's feelings. And, oh, you have sexual feelings for the green one.
And Shrek is just loving it.
And so you got that whole bit there. That was in the trailer.
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember what was next. It was was it didn't Yondu's gang?
Yeah, Yondu.
Oh
that was
man,
one.
this was like a mind blown shit.
Yondu's gang comes in, and Rocket is prepared for them. He's got traps like tranquilizers, landmines.
He was
the landmines. The landmines I love because it kept bouncing the guys up and down.
Oh my
actually had a wide.
This was Looney Tunes.
It actually had a wide shot of the guys actually shooting off of the trees like wee.
At this point, I felt like I was watching Looney Tunes, and Rocket was Bugs Bunny, and you got a group of Elmer Fuds being blown to pieces by his traps.
Yeah.
But then he gets. And then the next thing that happens is that Rocket gets cornered by them.
Yes.
And he's got his hands up, he's surrendering, he's getting his fingers pointed at. So the Sovereign offered them a lot of money to turn in the Guardians of the Galaxy so they could be executed or something.
Yeah.
And then they
Then Yondu wanted to instead take them in and sell the batteries for like a quarter of that.
Yeah, and then they have this argument about math.
Oh yeah.
The gang starts arguing about math and how much of a percentage they'll get if they do which of which, and then they start arguing about... It went from a Looney Tunes sketch to a Monty Python sketch at that point, because their Rocket is surrendering and about to die, and all the crew around him is arguing about percentages and decibels and math, and it's like...
Yeah, so
I'm watching a Monty Python sketch.
Yeah, so half the crew is sick of Yondu's crap because he's getting too soft for Peter and all that. And so they try to take over. And Nebula escapes. Well, Nebula escapes by convincing Groot to untie him to save Rocket, and then shoots Yondu in the head to knock him out and not use his arrow.
Knock out his mohawk. that controls the arrow, yes. And then Nebula shoots Rocket, knocking him out.
Yeah.
And goes, "Hello, boys." Wait, like that's necessary.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so...
So then they're on the planet.
The three Guardians
Yeah.
are... I'm sorry, I can't speak.
Give me a second.
Gamma, Star-Lord, and Drax are on the Ego's planet, which is a beautiful place with rainbow bubbles, and it looks like Pepperland from Yellow Submarine.
Yes. And
Nice place. A lot of gardening.
Yeah, so they land, and Ego explains that he was just a brain at one point, and he actually created his planet.
So he is the planet, like he's...
Yeah, he is literally the planet.
He's a celestial... Apparently he's a celestial being, like a god, and...
Yeah, and in the comics, he's always known as a giant planet with a face and a beard on it.
And yeah, that human form you see is just an extension of himself. So he's... This part I thought was ridiculous. He was explaining to Star-Lord about his past and like each other's past. And he did it while walking across this room. Like, you know that ride at Epcot, the big dome where you ride up and there's this guy lecturing you about world history, and you see these figures on the side, like these statues and animatronics. That's what it looked like. He's walking past these little domes that show pictures and statues of pieces of his history, including how Star-Lord was born. And then of course Drax comes in and is like, "Did you make yourself a penis?"
Yeah. And yes, I do have a penis.
He's asking questions about how Star-Lord was made, and Star-Lord's like, "I don't want to hear about how my parents reproduced me." And
but that was a beautiful story from my parents. Is this? All right.
My parents told me the story of how they created me every year or something. And another dick joke for Drax. That's 3 dick jokes for Drax. I don't know, 3 dirty jokes.
All right. What else?
So after that, so yeah, basically you find out that Star-Lord is half human, half god.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, sorry. I can make it.
I'm having trouble remembering the order of it.
No, me too. So while this is happening...
So Ego starts to teach him...
How to be godlike, I guess.
How to use his powers. He uses the Force or something. He's like, close your eyes and focus. And then he creates
he creates an energy ball, which he passes back and forth
with
his dad.
And they start playing catch together. How cute!
It's the moment that he always wanted as a kid.
Playing catch with a giant energy ball on his own planet. Every child's dream. Yes.
Right.
The next scene is when they're on the ship. The next scene goes back to
the Ravagers, I believe.
Yeah, the next scene goes back to the other part of the crew.
Yeah, and the crew that rebelled are starting to just keep jettisoning all the other guys that were still on Yondu. They just jettisoned all the guys that were still on Yondu's side into space, and they shoot up one guy and he freezes up, and we see all the other guys. It was like weird. It was so trippy.
It was like the scene from Titanic with all the floating bodies after they froze to death.
That is not a way I want to go out.
It was creepy. So yeah, the people who did a mutiny, they're partying. Groot is in a cage. Yondu is just sitting there feeling like shit.
And Raccoon is just having the time of his life, making fun of
Taserface.
Yeah, the guy who took over named himself Taserface, and he is just loving this.
I felt like I was watching Monty Python again when Rocket started laughing, just making fun of his name.
Yeah, I was like, "What was your first choice? Scrotum head?"
And of course, the crew's finding that funny.
Well, who wouldn't? All right, so they lock him up. Yondu gives a little backstory of how he was part of Nova Corps, I think. And then they became Ravagers, and then he broke the code, and then he was exiled. All that stuff.
So we learn his life history in less than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And Rocket is all like, "Fuck this, I want to get out of here." Then they come up with a plan to get out, but they try to fetch They fetched Baby Groot after.
After being humiliated.
The poor thing was tortured. They decided to torture Baby Groot by putting him in this little jumpsuit and then just drowning him in beer or whatever they were drinking. And the poor guy was just like.
He was about ready to cry back. Oh.
He wanted to cry for him. He was like that. He was the shortest kid in the high school class, consistently being bullied. That's what.
Oh, right. One of the guys wanted to kill him, but Taserface said he was too cute to kill.
Yeah, but still, like scenes like that made you cry.
Yeah.
Poor thing. So Groot goes to Yondu and Rocket, and they tell him to get
his fin.
Yondu has a dorsal fin that's kept in his old room, so he asks Groot to fetch it, and of course, Looney Tunes Shindig falls through. He keeps coming back with the wrong items because apparently Groot doesn't understand anything they're saying for some reason.
He has the intelligence of a toddler, so yeah.
So they're instructing him on getting this device, and he just keeps coming back with the wrong items, including his underwear.
He brings his underwear, one of those fish rat things.
A desk.
One of the guy's eyeballs. Now, I did love how Rocket loved the idea of keeping the eyes so the guy would take forever, would know where his eye was. It'd be so funny.
Rocket just doesn't focus. He's all like, let's leave the eyeball here. He's gonna wake up and knows where his eye is.
So he looks for the desk that has the symbol of his badge, and he finally finds it.
Finally.
Before getting some well-deserved mints.
Well, he thinks it's the mints, but then one of the crew members is apparently not involved in the mutiny. He's loyal to Yondu.
Well,
as we find out.
Because the guy Jess and most of his friends, and who wouldn't be pissed off at that?
So he helps out sending Yondu and Rocket free.
And then his little arrow whistle goes off. Sonic arrow, that's what I want to say.
Yes.
And it wrecks everyone's shit. I mean, everyone.
They had like the classic background of 60s music as they were doing this, as he was using the arrow to kill everyone at the same time. But
this is another
slow motion.
Another slow motion watch.
Of,
and this is another moment like in the first movie where they had the perfect opportunity to shoot him, but everyone just stands there waiting to get killed. Like when he used the sonic arrow to kill all those soldiers that were about to shoot him. One of them could have shot him.
It was like the putties from Power Rangers where they're all surrounding them, but they just attack one at a time.
Yeah. And so he uses at the end of it all, he uses his arrow to blow up one of the tanks and blow up the ship.
You're skipping too much.
But
you're skipping too much. I want to talk about how they were playing the classic 60s music in the background, but as he was shooting the guys with his arrow, they were all falling aside from him, and I was like, why aren't they playing It's Raining Men here? And then Groot gets his revenge.
He finally kicks one of their asses.
He spots the guy who poured the beer on him and tortured him and just goes all ape shit on him, which was an adorable moment.
It was the moment where they were torturing him that I wish that he would suddenly just all of a sudden grow back into his adult size and then just kick everyone's ass. That would have been beautiful for me.
If he had done that near the end, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, then we get to the part where he pretty much blows up most of the ship and escapes in a pod with everybody else.
Before Taserface warns the Golden people of his coordinates.
The Sovereign.
Yes, the Sovereigns.
No, let's call them the Oscars.
The Oscars, alright.
They all look like Oscar statues.
And
the Oscars.
And one of them still makes fun of his name before he dies.
He sends a message to the Oscars, and he says, this is where these people are that you're looking for. Just when you kill them, tell them Taserface sent them. And the lady over the intercom is like,
oh.
And then he dies.
Okay, and then they decide to...
Blow to smithereens.
Then they decide to go where Peter is, but they have to do quantum jumps. And apparently the body can only handle 50 quantum jumps, but this would require them to do 700. and their faces.
This gives me nightmares.
Well, and this.
I will have nightmares.
And during
for
this, their
weeks.
faces start morphing, like they're suddenly turning into Shrek or something like that. Raccoons.
Rocket is.
Raccoon's actually got like a 3D Looney Tunes face going on.
It's going all in your face, like. But it's not. It's not like my face. It's a lot more frightening.
Oh,
this is. You think this is frightening? Like.
I love how Groot had the huge mouth. Like.
But it was all right up in your face. Imagine if we saw that in 3D.
Alright.
That was a nightmare and a half, and we saw it like 3 times. 3 times it happened.
Alright.
So we're back on the planet. Back on the planet Ego.
Yeah, planet Ego.
Right.
And
there's father-son moments going on and talking about backgrounds, and then there's Gamera, who the roles reverse here. In the beginning, Star-Lord was having doubts about his father, and Gamera was like, "Oh, we should trust him." But then it reverses. Now Gamera's not so sure about what's going on.
Something's up with the planet, and she doesn't know. But Mantis knows. While she wants to tell Drac while they're talking.
Mantis and Drac have a bonding
moment,
with Drac calling her ugly.
Alright. Well, but she knows what's going on, but she won't tell the others. But then, okay. After Gamora and Peter
and Star-Lord get into an argument about that, and she storms off. And then next thing you know, Nebula flies in and starts trying to shoot her down with
her ship. Yeah, but
we forgot to mention that part. That she left the crew with the ship.
Yeah, and apparently during their childhood, every time she lost a fight with Gamora, Thanos would rip off a piece of her
and replace her with like a robotic part.
Yeah,
we forgot about that.
Yeah. You okay?
Excuse me.
Alright, so after she crashes the ship and they fight some more, they have a bonding moment.
This was a irrelevant plot point to me.
Yeah, she really wasn't that important to the plot.
The whole thing with Nebula, I felt like it was put in there because just to give Gamera her own story arc or something.
Something like that.
Like, it was just thrown in there. But, yeah, so they're fighting, and then they sort of have a bonding moment. Do they sort of make up? I don't know.
Right. But then they move on.
But then they find out, they're in this cave after the fight, and they try to find a way out of there, and they end up in this area that is completely covered in bones, like thousands of bones.
It's just an entire graveyard in a
mountain
bottle. So apparently, Ego was traveling to find answers to
find a purpose for himself.
Yes, and he found out that his purpose was to make the whole universe one, as in turn the whole universe into himself.
Basically, he wanted to go all Fire Nation and turn every planet into him.
Yes. So he's gone from planet to planet to putting a little bit of him in there and hoping for the day to use enough energy to turn them all into him. But he needs...
But not before another one of those domes that show the displays of his past.
Oh, and
It shows duplicates of him having sex with all these different alien species.
He was a gigolo.
He was a gigolo. He was a playa. Dude.
Yeah.
And, you know, he tried so hard to make it out like it was going to be a good thing. And Star-Lord was falling for it.
Well, but he started falling for it once he did the tappy thing on his head and he started having the universe in his eyeballs.
It's like, oh my god, it's so beautiful. But then he starts sounding more and more dark as he's explaining what he's aiming for, turning all the planets into him and all. The way he explained it, it was starting to sound more and more douchebag, and then this part that...
Oh, okay.
The part where he says that one line that made me react the exact same way that Star-Lord did.
Okay, Star-Lord asks about his mother, or what he thought about that, and
I loved your mother and all that.
He didn't genuinely love her. I mean, He came back to the planet 3 times, and if he came back another time, he wouldn't be able to leave, which would ruin his plan. So
guess what?
Yeah.
Do you want to reveal it or should I?
Both. He killed his mother.
He put the tumor in her brain.
Oh, and this is enough to knock Star-Lord out of his trance. And they do that fisheye lens kind of thing where the background's moving back and his head's going straight down. It's like, what?
He reacted the same way that I went. He said that line. I was like, what?
He's like,
it was a close up of Star-Lord going, what?
And he's like, okay, now I know how it sounds, but you gotta understand it. He just starts shooting him like all the shit.
I know that sounds bad. You fucking killed your mother slowly and painfully. Yeah, it sounds bad. It is bad. What?
Yeah, so...
But, I can't believe they wrote that in. Like, was that in the comics?
I don't know. I didn't read Guardians
The
of the
guy
Galaxy.
sounded enough like a douchebag, but now they wrote him in as a fucked up murderer.
Well, he only really cared about himself.
He kept saying how much he loved his mother, but then he was all,
I mean...
and then I had to put that tumor in her brain. Okay, so, yeah, I'm rambling on.
No, it's right.
What's next?
So...
Gamma and Nebula arrive back at the house, and the group finally gets together and figuring out.
Mantis tells him everything.
Shit's going down.
Peter, he decides...
The pile of bones.
Oh, yeah. The pile of bones was his children, apparently.
They were all his... all his children.
His failed children. And Star-Lord was the only one who had the cosmic power inside him.
Ego's basically looking for an offspring to help, like, double his power or something, so that he can move on with his expansion.
Yeah, and since Peter's not willing to cooperate anymore, he's basically going to use him as a battery for the rest of his life.
The pile of bones was pretty much past children who he's used up and failed. And yeah, so what was after that? Rocket and the others finally arrive, right?
Yeah, and they crash right on him.
After another nightmarish visual of Rocket. Oh my god, I'm gonna find a picture and put that up. Here's your nightmare fuel, everybody.
Put that as the thumbnail. You got.
Here's your nightmare fuel, everybody. Sweet dreams.
More sugar frosted nightmares, please.
So yeah, they finally arrive
and
after 700 jumps and land on top of the human figure of Ego.
Oh no. Okay.
What was after that?
Okay. The sidekick stays in space while they go off in another little pod.
Yes.
And before they land on the ship, Rocket and Yondu have a moment where they're bonding, I guess, because on how much of an assholes they both are.
Yeah, pretty much. Like they realize that they're a lot more alike than they think, and I guess that's their way of saying, "Hey, we're best friends now."
Yeah.
So they're working together to try to bail out Star-Lord. They crash into the house, and is that when they?
I forget what they say in the middle of it, but there's one. No, there's one. The one scene where he starts to try and put his human body back together. It's like, oh!
The Ghostbusters scene.
What?
It went from Looney Tunes to Monty Python to Ghostbusters, straight up shit.
You're one messed up kid. Well, what do you expect? Well, of course I end up like this. Because that thing is my father!
Yeah, this thing that... Ego's body comes back up and is trying to regenerate, but he looks like a Ghostbusters figure.
We both thought simultaneously Ghostbusters from this thing. And
Star-Lord, who tells him that he's messed up? Was it Rocket?
I don't know. I don't even remember.
But yeah, Star-Lord's like, of course I'm messed up. That is my father. And then they drive right through the figure and try to escape.
And then they go into the Earth or the planet.
Yeah, they realize that his main core is deep inside the planet, so they figure they have to go down there and blow the shit up in order to destroy Ego permanently. I'm sorry, I'm trying so hard to remember.
No, it's okay.
So much went on in there.
So Rocket prepares a bomb with the batteries that he stole, and
a timed bomb. And they all.
And the only one who could fit through is Groot. So he tries to tell him.
So there's the scene in the in the trailer where he tries to explain, don't push this button.
Yeah.
Do this, but don't push this button. And then we have that whole session. And then we have the scene with the tape.
Oh yeah, that was
anybody have
right.
any tape?
Oh okay. Before that happens, they tried to bore into the brain, but the Oscar guys finally show up and start. They managed to follow them into the planet and mess things up for them, and that's when they do the tape thing.
So now they're trying. So now the Guardians of the Galaxy are trying to take down this shithole of a planet that's trying to destroy everything while being chased by the Oscars.
Yeah,
But that sounds so stupid how I said that.
And then Rocket, after doing the thing with Groot, starts asking about tape and.
Does anybody have any tape? And Star-Lord's all like, do we have Scotch tape? Do we have duct tape? Hey, do we have any tape?
No, it's all done while we're focusing on Raccoon and Groot. I love just hearing these things off in the distance. Like, hey, Gamora, you got any tape?
Yeah,
you got any tape?
Rocket and Groot are just standing there like, and you hear stuff in the back
wait.
like, where's tape? Do we have any tape?
I loved it when he was like, hey, Drac, you got some tape? You got Scotch tape will do. Well, then why'd you ask me if we need Scotch tape? Oh, it was good.
And so Groot runs off with the bomb, and Rocket's all like, we're gonna die. And then there's more fighting going on.
And, Ego is trying to mess things up, but Mantis manages to keep him asleep for a while.
Yeah, she has the power to put people to sleep, too.
Right.
So, yeah, she does that. She holds her power to put him to sleep. The planet's sleeping. And what was after that?
Fighting.
Fighting what?
The ships and all that.
Oh, yeah, trying to chase off the Oscars and all that shit. Yeah, that's right. They, Nebula plugged some stuff into her to charge up the ship so that they could blast all those ships at once.
Yeah, they have a mining laser thingy and just shoots lasers off on the side now and
blasts all those ships to smithereens, and then we get another angry video game nerd reaction in an entire room. Like, ah!
Oh, right. That thing. Where everyone piloting the ships are doing, yeah. And then everyone having to, everyone available having to show up where Mantis is, and they do the Avengers thing where they circle around them and for the trailer shot, and Mantis gets hit. And, well, she gets hit by debris. It's like, Tonk! Mantis, watch out!
Oh, yeah, poor thing.
So...
Yeah, Mantis gets knocked out, the planet wakes back up.
And he starts wrecking everyone's shit.
Wrecking. Yeah, so everyone looks like there's like tentacles going around grabbing the ladies.
Yeah, light tentacles or something. And
then the scene where Groot looks like Groot's about to be squashed in the little tunnel, and he's crying.
He's crying. We actually saw tears.
He's crying, and everybody was like gasping at that part, like ah! It's like you were watching a puppy that was about to be.
Well, he basically is a puppy right now.
But it's like you were watching a puppy that was about to be run over by a car or something.
Yeah. So
that was not a pleasant
scene. Daddy gets his human form and is about to deal with Star-Lord.
While everybody else is about to die.
Yeah, he gets impaled by stuff. Oh, and then Gandu reminds him. Yandu. Sorry.
You said Gandu.
Why did I say that?
Because we're tired.
Yeah,
It's 1 a.m.
Earlier, Yandu talked to him about how he could do his light powers.
I don't use it with my head, I use it with my heart.
Yes. He mentions that, and it gets...
This is the use the Force scene.
We get flashbacks of everything he's done with his friends, like listening to music with his mom, laughing with Drac, flying in the sky with Raccoon. I did like that one.
Rocket. You keep saying Raccoon.
Whatever. I'm tired.
I keep saying Raccoon.
You can call her Gamera.
He has flashbacks and uses the power of friendship to gain control of his power. So now we go from Looney Tunes to Monty Python to
Dragon Ball.
To Dragon Ball fucking Z right here.
Yeah, so they're fighting.
They are flying around with the flashes and the lasers and the
So they're fighting and fighting and fighting, and then at one point.
And go ahead.
And then at one point.
Oh my god.
This had to be our favorite part.
I don't know if it was my favorite, but it was my biggest what the fuck moment.
Okay.
Go on.
Give me a sec.
So
They're jumping at each other, classic trailer style, and the dad gathers rocks to make him bigger, and so does.
And Star-Lord gathers rocks to make him look like Pac-Man.
It was great. It was beautiful.
We missed. I guess we missed.
Oh.
It was a reference to when way earlier on when they were having like some father-son moments, and
he mentioned how he could use his power.
He wants to use his powers to build a statue of Pac-Man and
Pac-Man,
Locklear.
yeah, stuff like.
Do some weird shit.
Yeah.
So that there was a reference to like a past scene.
He could basically use his powers to create his own planet.
So there's a giant rock form of Ego and a giant rock form of Pac-Man charging at one another, and everybody was like, "What the shit!"
It was beautiful.
I will say
I loved it.
Another one of those many moments where I was like, "What did I just watch?" But wow, yeah. So yeah, flying around, blasting each other, all the DBZ shit going on. The other. Groot finally sets the bomb right. He pushes the right button. Of course, he pushes the right button, and then he runs off.
Thankfully, the bad button was cracked, so I think he figured it out.
So everybody escapes from the planet except for Yondu.
Yeah, he says he's gotta stick around and do the right thing, and Rocket gives him a shield and a jetpack, and he has a moment with him again.
Another moment. So they all get on that ship, and Gamera wants to go back to find Star-Lord, but gets knocked out by Rocket.
Mm-hmm.
Just says, we gotta leave him because he's busy,
saving
our hides. So they all leave on the ship, and
then the bomb does the thingy, right?
Yeah, they're still fighting, and the bomb finally goes off, destroying the dad completely. And
he he basically melts right in front of his son, so I can imagine that's a little disturbing.
Yeah, well, he's been through enough disturbing stuff as it is.
I know.
But he pretty much loses his god powers. He's fully human now. Because Ego explained, you kill me and you'll become like everyone else. You won't be god anymore.
And he's like, what's wrong with that?
And then Ego dies. And so everything is crumbling down around him. He's pretty much looking at it, accepting his fate. And then Yondu, of course, zoom!
Here I come to save the day!
This part, we went through...
Shit.
90...
Went through shit.
Mood whiplash about to come in. 90 minutes of, laughter shit. And then all of a sudden we have the sad moments. Yondu comes in, puts that cloaking shield around... Star-Lord so that he can breathe in space as they're escaping the planet. And
Yondu gives us stuff like, I'm sorry I couldn't be a better dad than he was. And honestly, I got a little bit teary with this part.
I got teary.
Yondu freezes in space and dies.
Slowly.
Slowly.
This went slowly. I mean, poor Star-Lord is all like, no, and
he lost...
Yondu is... he lost 2 dads in less than a minute.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god. But 90 minutes of hardcore laughing, and then all of a sudden that happens.
So
and then we have a funeral.
Oh yeah, they also happened to find him in space, which kind of got to me. They just happened to... They cut out the scene where they happened to find him in space. Who knows how long he was in there. Out drifting in there. That was my thing.
Well, they were drifting out. Yondu dies. Star-Lord is obviously crying, and then it jump cuts to them having a funeral for him on the ship.
They cremate him through rainbow fire, which was weird with me.
I didn't realize they could do that, but it was pretty.
Yeah. So
they have this whole funeral scene for Yondu, and it looks similar to the scene from Star Trek.
Oh,
with you know the scene from Star Trek when Spock dies?
Yes. And after he's cremated, everyone has their moments Gamora talks to Nebula, who leaves, and they are all sistery, I guess.
They're reconciled, like
that sidekick guy gives. Oh, we forgot to mention that the dad destroyed the Walkman.
Oh yeah, he had that scene. We'll explain that as.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So, oh no, it is necessary. So Ego destroyed the Walkman.
Yes.
The classic Walkman, and so after the funeral scene, his Yondu, what's his name? Yondu.
Yondu's sidekick.
I
whatever.
Can't say his name.
I'm gonna call him Charlie.
It's a Craiglin.
Craiglin. I'll call him Charlie. Charlie.
Okay.
Charlie gives him something that Yondu happened to find in junk. It's a Zune. He gives them a Zune.
It's got over 300 songs in it.
And he's like, 300 songs?
Holy shit. So he's finally caught up with technology and all that.
Well, as far as he can get with junk.
And then Charlie is given Yondu's arrow.
Yeah, the sonic arrow. He really starts to get him.
And they went all out with this funeral scene, because the next scene, all these ships show up in space.
Yeah, Rocket mentions to all of his Ravager buddies, including Sylvester Stallone as one of them.
As what happened.
Yeah, and they decide to finally give him an honored passing.
They all pretty much saluted him.
All the ships give off their flares as like fireworks and all that, and they finally give them the honorable salute that they said they were never going to give him. I mean, everyone was a buddy for him, and it was pretty touching.
It was a big moment, because he was having that. He had that moment with Rocket when he was talking about how he pushed everyone away and how he was alone. Apparently, he touched a lot of people somehow.
Yeah, and
especially after what he did in his final moment.
Yeah, so that's it, right?
That was the ending. The funeral was the ending.
Yeah, and then there's all the other.
They had some comedic scenes after the credits, of course.
Oh, you know what? You know what we forgot to mention? But we could probably do it at the end. Well, let's get past the post-credit stuff. First, there was Charlie, who had the mohawk and was testing out the arrow.
That was post-credit, but yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Let's go through the post-credit stuff first, and then I'll mention what I was gonna mention. The post-credit thing where he used the arrow and accidentally stabs Drake in the shoulder, and he's like, "Run!" And the next one was the Oscar people talking about the next big weapon, who happens to be
their next breeding.
Yeah.
They had this whole thing with. I really couldn't keep up with how they explained it. They have their own session on like genetically breeding their people.
Yeah.
And apparently there's this new machine that they made that they're naming Adam.
As in Adam Warlock, the next guy who's going to come up, and the guy whose main power comes from the Soul Gem, which I need to point out. So that's got to be a huge thing.
Well, like I said, I haven't read the comics or the series.
Right.
So.
And they had a few post-credit things for this, actually.
They did.
They had like 4, really.
There was the scene with Star-Lord and Groot.
Yeah.
Groot apparently
grows up into a teenager.
Becomes a teenager. Star-Lord comes into the room, and the place is completely covered in like wood shavings. And he's all like, "Look at this mess you made," and blah blah blah. He's acting like a father, and
he's like, "I am Groot."
Groot's playing this little video game, and he's all, "I am Groot," like acting like a teenager. And it was like, that's pretty cool. Then he says, "Now I understand how Yondu felt."
Right, and now I have to mention, I forgot to mention that while Yondu and Rocket were going through the warp, we happen to see all these other places that they warp to.
The cameo.
And yes, and we get the Stan Lee cameo, where he's in a spacesuit talking to the Watchers. The Watchers are cosmic beings who keep an eye on the universe, and I don't know if they interfere, but they watch everything. I mean, literally.
They pretty much They're encyclopedia. They're Wikipedias. They know everything that's going on.
Yeah. So, and that was also one of the theories.
You went crazy on that scene.
Well, because before people were kept giving out theories that Stan Lee was the Watcher, and
the Watcher.
And then this scene shows up and pretty much confirms everything. I mean, he technically wasn't a Watcher. He somehow ended up there. I don't know how. But the last post-credit thing was him talking to the guy saying that, "You're my ride," and all that. So I would imagine that he's going to stay in that realm and become a Watcher. Basically a god, which he pretty much is to this universe.
But the other Watchers kind of abandoned him.
Well, yeah.
He was all like, "Where are you going? I got more stories to tell."
Well, I'm thinking... Something tells me he's basically creating the stories... He's actually creating the universes as he's telling the stories. At least, that's probably what's happening right now. He's creating all these characters through his stories with the Watchers. That's my theory. That's my theory.
Right. Because that's pretty much what he's done with the whole Marvel Universe.
Yeah. And so, that's the movie.
That's it. Yeah.
It was...
My head's still spinning thinking about it. Like, where do we even start with our thoughts?
Oh, it was crazy. It was fun. It was funny.
Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. But there was just so much shit going on. Like, it's like, the finale of a fireworks show where there's so many blasts going on. You're thinking, wait, do I look over here? Do I look over here? Like, wait, what did that happen? What this? What that?
And yet the movie does end with fireworks.
Ironically, yes. So, so Drac was a walking dirty joke, but he was definitely one of the best characters. I enjoyed watching him.
That thing about him in the last movie where he couldn't get sarcasm was a bit annoying, but he was funnier in this one, in my opinion.
And there's the whole thing with Gamora and her sister, I felt was really irrelevant to everything. Like, I think the only reason why Nebula was there was so that Gamora can have a story arc in there, or a plot, or that she can be a plot point rather than just be the supposed love interest of Star-Lord.
She'll probably show up in the third, which they do point out that the Guardians will return. They like how they point out how Captain America will be in the Avengers. Like, we really needed to know this shit.
Marvel's gonna go on and on.
Fun thing they did at the end was they added in the credits, every now and then they add "I am Groot" to the credit. I did like that.
And Vin Diesel's gonna be fucking richer. I was gonna say rich, but he's got Fast and Furious stuff, so
he's making more than enough money.
He's already rich, but
he's already making more than enough money on those movies.
I'm sure that all the Groot toys that are gonna be sold, he's got to have some cut from it. It's gotta be. I don't know, but I don't know how the voice actors get paid, but yeah. So what else was there? Like, any final thoughts on you?
I like the movie. I recommend it. Go see it.
I do like it. It was enjoyable to watch, but
it will be confusing if you haven't seen the first movie.
I think the best way I can describe this movie is stupidly awesome.
Yeah, we wanted to take our dad to it just so we.
Oh my god!
But there's no way he would be able to follow.
He would not have. No, if we couldn't follow it.
I spent years just trying to get him to watch the Iron Man movie, but.
But yeah, the whole time there were way too many scenes where I was like, "What? Wait, what did I just watch?"
Yeah. I will never get over the Pac-Man thing. It made me so happy.
Out of nowhere. Wow.
But you expect anything else from Star-Lord?
Yeah, I'm sorry if I don't sound as enthusiastic as if I was with Power Rangers. I mean, to be honest,
that lasted for 2 hours.
Well, we were very passionate about Power Rangers as kids. That's why we could talk so much about it. Like, I do enjoy watching these comic book movies from Marvel and DC, but I never read comics as a kid. Like, I'm not a comic person. But I do enjoy watching the movies.
I did have comics, but they were more of a pastime. Oh God, I can't even think right now.
Just don't expect me to know every single thing about every character and all. There's a whole
Yeah,
out there.
I read comics because there was really nothing else to do as a kid.
But yeah, so yeah, anything that has Baby Groot on it is gonna sell after this weekend.
Yep.
And next Guardians of the Galaxy movie, like don't lose your taste. It was all good, but slow the fuck down.
You know they're not.
Slow the fuck down.
And let's hope we get.
Maybe it's just me getting old, but I was all like.
And here's hoping we get adult Groot again, and we don't have to deal with Teen Groot the whole movie, because I would not want that.
If we do, I won't be surprised.
I don't think Teen Groot is going to sell as many toys.
Baby Groot was. I loved Baby Groot.
Who didn't?
He was. So gonna make a giant plushie of him, if I can. I don't know how to use fleece to make it look like wood.
You'll find a way.
The movie did start off with a lot of dirty jokes, right?
Yes.
Oh, there was another dirty line that Drax said. The one who was talking about his wife and how he said his nether regions were all like. Woo!
Oh right. She would make my nether regions flame up.
Oh my God.
I mean, God, he was just nothing but dirty jokes. That's all he had, really.
So, yeah, if you like Family Guy or Looney Tunes or Monty Python or DBZ or Pac-Man or classic 70s, 80s or 50s music,
It was 80s.
It couldn't have been 80s. The music sounded like from the 50s. I'm pretty sure.
No, they were all 80s songs. That's the only songs he knew.
You know what? It's almost 2 in the morning. I'm tired. I think we're done here.
Yeah.
I hope that you guys enjoyed our rambling for this movie vlog.
Thank you. Look forward to another one when we find a movie that we're both watching.
Doing pretty much what everybody else is doing right now, posting videos about this. But we got such a positive response from the Power Rangers one that I was like, maybe we should do more of these and
just to see if any of the others have as much of success as that one.
Well, do people actually give a crap of what we have to say about movies since everybody else is doing the same thing? I don't know, but
we shall see.
Sometimes it is good to talk about these things. But yeah, so
yeah, that's
anything else you want to say before we close off?
Go see the movie. It's really you'll have a good time.
I need to go to bed.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for hearing us ramble and.
Thanks for hearing us yap about nonsense.
Yep. So, yeah, that's it. Have a good night.
Stupidly awesome is a good term, actually.
Yeah.
I want to remind you of that. So please don't hate me too much. I mean, this is all personal opinion.
Yeah. So we're good.
We're going to bed.
We're out. Peace out.
And enjoy the movie, guys.
Yeah. You guys have a good day.
And enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your lives. We love you.
Good night.
Love you.
And good day.
Subscribe, please.
Please check us out. Bye-bye.
How much longer are we going to do this?
As long as it takes for them to press the subscribe button.
Maybe.
I'm kidding. All right, good night.